Alright, so these are the beans that I planted with my mother a few weeks ago. My mother, she knows more about gardening than I do. She grew up as a sharecropper. That's what her folks did. Hey everyone. Just wanted to show you all some bean plants that I had planted with my mother the other week. The plan is just to let these plants sprout, grow a little bit so we can transfer them into our garden. Mom says if we do it this way, then the bean plants will have a better chance in surviving in the garden. It won't get burnt up by all the sun. Some other plants right here. Transfer these, some more bean plants that I did. And I believe these are squash plants right here. Looking forward to eating that. I definitely think that during this time, it's important for people to learn how to grow their own vegetables in the garden, their own produce, fresh produce. So, just giving you a sample of this. Oh, it has a little bumblebee in it. Well, it's just what it is.
Hello everyone, this is Evelyn. You know, I like to grow things in my garden. I have a garden out there. This year, as far as trying to grow things, it's been a little more challenging this year than it was last year. I have some plants down here. These plants that you see here, they started from seeds. I have some squash down here. I have some cowpeas, and I have some pinto beans too. But so far that's what I'm putting in my garden. But I also have some collard plants that I'm gonna put in my garden too. I am out here in my garden. Hopefully, I know it looks a little barren right now. It's been a little difficult this year having my garden, but I have collards out here. I do have some pinto beans out here. I also have some more pinto beans that are coming up that are growing too, but I do have those, and I'm gonna probably plant some kind of salad. Our garden is a lot of work. This year the soil has not been like I want it to be. It really needs, I need to get it in it and till it more, and that's what I'm gonna do. But this is just a beginning. My husband transplanted these collards, but of course he put them too close. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, but the collards are a little too close. You know, I have a row he put in the middle, but really anyone knows that a person that grows collards knows that the collards get big and they're going to overcrowd each other. But we have to see what happens with that. Hi, I am out here working in my gardens. Look at my hands. Sometimes I use gloves and sometimes I don't. I'm not a person that have a lot of nails, fingernails, the manicures, all that kind of stuff, the fancy fingernails and all that. So a lot of times I just use my hands. I do use gloves sometimes. I'm out here in my garden trying to revive it. Of course, I was telling my husband to wait before he tried to put anything in the garden, but of course he could not wait. So as a result, I am out here trying to, as they say, fix what he messed up. I would say my dirt is a little hard here. It's not very well conditioned. I would say I'm not going to endorse anyone's products, but just get you garden soil that's for like outdoors use. Also, get you some garden soil, like probably even organic garden soil to use in your garden. And also, it might sound strange, but also get you some garden soil that also sort of like the potting soil, because that will help too and make the dirt soft too. That you use, when you pot your plants, it works very well too, because it'll help condition and soften up a lot of the hard soil that you have in your garden. We have a tiller, but it's not the one to use to do a garden like this. I couldn't convince my husband to get another one, so I am doing it the way I used to do it when I grew up. Years ago, I grew up on a farm. We raised tobacco, corn, soybean, peanuts, cotton, all of that. So I know about using a hoe. This is a hoe. Also, I have a shovel out there. So I know about using that. So, I'm just chopping, getting my soil real clean. And of course, you see these weeds out here. And this is not easy. This is a lot of work. But if you want to burn a lot of calories, then you can do things like this to burn a lot of calories. Be careful where you step. As you can see, just zoom around at the garden right here. Beans planted here and there, and that is because the soil was so hard and it's not conditioned. And I tried to tell my husband not to do this, but of course he did this. And I do have some plants, and you've already seen some pictures. Well, you probably haven't seen some pictures, but I have some pictures of plants that I grew from seeds to put out here, some bean plants and some squash plants and all of that. And of course those are collards. And so I'm in the process now of chopping all this grass. The thing about it, if you're going to chop your grass, I know you say, oh, that's a lot of hard work, but if you don't remove this grass, you're just like doing a lot of work. And for me, I've always been a person, I like to work smarter, not harder. So I would say take that extra time to remove your grass out of your garden. With all what I'm doing today, hopefully I will finish today. You're going to need to keep your garden moist, keep it watered. Of course, you're going to need to fertilize your vegetation here. But, just follow your directions or talk with someone else about how you fertilize. Because if you don't fertilize correctly, you're going to burn your plants up. They're going to die. You're going to burn them up. So if you don't know how to do it, then you can ask someone how to do it, how to fertilize the plants. And so I've been chopping here with this hoe I have in my hand. Ground actually is really, really hard. And as you chop, of course, you got to beat the big lumps out, because you want that soil around these plants, you want it soft. See how it's moving like this? You want it really, really soft. And once you get it chopped around here, then you're going to want to put some, like I said, some garden in-ground soil around it. But what I usually do and what I like to do, I like to prep my garden first. And when I say prep my garden, I like to come out here, remove my grass and chop it and put my soil in and condition my soil before I do my plants. But like I said, my husband made it hard for me this year the way he did it. So I'm having to do it this way, but hopefully the garden will still turn out to be a good garden. Just takes a little leg work. You know, it's gonna sweat a little bit, probably lose a little weight, but hey, it's all good. So just go along, just chop. And you don't particularly have to have a garden this big. You can have a small little garden. And if you aren't used to having a garden, you can just get a container and you know, put some plants in, put a few things in it and try to grow that. And see if you like to garden, do some gardening. But gardening you have to have a passion for it in order to be successful with it. You can't just throw your plants in the ground and think they're gonna do well. Because as you can see, looking at these plants, they've not done well because they've not had that love and nurturing that they need. Because like I said, this is my husband's handiwork here. So you're gonna have to, you know, get the chop around here, loosen up that soil. It is hard. Really, you should lay your garden out in the winter time. Because you lay it out, then this, you know, won't happen. Get you a good tiller and open up your ground and lay it out. That's something we were missing. We had one and it broke down. It was no good. So he purchased one, and it's not a good one. It's not for a garden. I don't know what it's for, but anyway, I think he tried to use it out here, but you see the results, and it didn't do very well. So that's why I'm doing this. But I will keep you up to date, and I will be putting pictures on the line online, showing you how my garden is doing. Also, probably once I get this condition and everything, and once I started planting my plants, I might put some out today. I'm not too sure. Then I will let you see what I'm doing as far as how I plant my plants. I put my plants in the ground. Garden is sort of late. Also, too, you know, we've had frost, so that have and it had killed a few plants too. You know, about the frost. So you're not too sure with the weather. It's very hard to predict. You know, you need to cover up your vegetation. Try to cover it up if you can catch it, you know, before it frosts, because if not, it's going to kill your plants or stunt your growth for your plants. But most of the time, it kills them. You won't have the yield that you would have. So, okay, until the next segment, excuse me, until the next segment, then I'm going to say, I'll see you. You know, I was listening to
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, she's filming this. She's filming this. What you gather? On just planting. And put some dirt here. See what kind of dirt I have here. I make me a little bed. Pull out one of my biggest plants here. Put this here. Let me step over. Some of this dirt here. And this is just outdoors garden soil. That's what it is. That's what I'm using around here, outdoors garden soil. Because as you can see, I still have some of these little hard pebbles here. Well, not that hard then, but what I have to do, I'm gonna need to put some more out garden soil, that mixture together, so this area will stay nice and moist. That's it. Oh, okay. Think about that one. It's gonna.
Lord, I hope that bright fence ain't on. I hope that electric fence is not on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they having fun. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
They having fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Okay. Okay. Lord have mercy. Please don't be on fence. If that little girl touch that fence, if they got that shit on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It ain't on. Lord have mercy. It ain't on. You got it.
Mhm.